Hello to everyone. I am so glad that you joined us today. We will be doing a little bit of food prep as well as some fun baking. We're going to be making a yummy blackberry cobbler, so make sure that you stay until the very end of the video to catch all the goodies. We are heading out this morning to pick our blackberries. We had to check on our little baby bunnies that we discovered while weed eating the other day. They're doing fine this morning. They're just packed in there all nice and snug. So we're going to leave them be and head out to our blackberries. Now these are just some wild blackberries that are growing on our place. They're super good. And our blackberries in the garden are almost over with, so we're going to use these to make our cobbler. If you enjoy this type of videos, make sure that you like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss any other videos like this. We also headed up to our garden area to get the leftover blackberries that were still there. There was a few more there, so we went ahead and picked those to finish off our blackberries. We really didn't need that much to make our cobbler, so we're going to take them in and get those washed up. We're going to soak them for a little bit in some water, and then later we'll add a little bit of baking soda in and just get them nice and clean before we get started with our recipe. In the meantime, I got a fun package that got delivered, so we're going to open that while our blackberries are kind of sitting in some water. And this is a bunch of candles. I got a big order of candles just to keep on hand, since I have really missed burning candles. I think subconsciously I kind of quit burning candles back when Weston was a baby. And now that he's a little bit older, I have just kind of been wanting to burn candles a little bit more. Anybody that knows me knows that I love having a nice scented candle burning in the house throughout the day. So we're going to get one of these up, set it up here on the kitchen table, and get it decorated a little bit here and get it burning and get it smelling nice in here in the kitchen. I also added a little bit of this lavender that I'd picked from the garden, just to add a little bit of florals over there. And then we're going to get back to our blackberries. So I just got them out of the water. Now that our berries are nice and clean, we're going to let them drain for a little bit. And while we get our dough made, I had about 1 cup of berries, so that was perfect for our recipe. And then starting with our dough, just whipping everything up according to the recipe. And don't judge my beaters on my hand mixer. I broke the one, and so I'm using mismatched beaters for this recipe. It totally worked, but I do need to order another beater, or I don't know if you can get them separately or not, but anyways, just ignoring that for the moment. I am adding in my the flour mixture and alternating with the milk that goes in, and then just adding that until everything is really well combined. And then we'll put it into our little pan here. And this was about the perfect size for us. This is about a 5x7 pan, I think, somewhere around there. Once we poured in the dough, just get it nice and flattened on the top, and then we'll add our blackberries on top of that. And then to top it off, we're going to make a mixture of some brown sugar, and then also some flour, some cinnamon, and then adding in some butter. Mixing that up to make it crumbly, and I forgot about adding in the oatmeal, so I'm going to add in some oatmeal really quick and then just mix it up with my hands to get it nice and crumbly to add on top of our blackberries. And then we're going to put this in the oven, and if you want to see the recipe I will put that in the description. If I don't forget, I'll put that down there for you. While that is baking, I'm going to go ahead and get some of the hanging baskets watered, especially out on the porch. Those need to be watered very regularly this time of year, so I'm going to go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. And while I was out on the porch, I noticed the hummingbird feeder was basically empty, so we're going to go ahead and fill that up and get that filled up for the little hummingbirds. They are really coming around this summer and I just love it. So I like to just wash out the feeder whenever I refill it, just give it a good scrub down, get it nice and clean for them. And now I'm just mixing the little nectar mixture. I'm using hot water, about 2 cups, and then adding in a half a cup of sugar, mixing that till it is dissolved. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some ice cubes to cool it off so that I can get it out there back up for the little birds. And once it's cooled off nicely, I'm going to just pour it into our little hummingbird feeder, and 2 cups fills this one up perfectly, so it's always just right. And just like that, it's ready for the hummingbirds again. So we're going to go ahead and hang that back out there, and I had barely turned my back and I heard one buzzing up behind me, so I thought you might want to see a couple clips of those cute little hummingbirds out there. Once our cobbler was done, I'm just checking it and it was perfect. So I'm just going to get it out and then let it cool for a little bit. This is best served warm with like milk or ice cream, but it is so good. Next, I'm going to start on a breakfast casserole, and I'm going to get started by just frying my bacon. I'm going to do that in the oven. I just put down a sheet pan and then added some tin foil on top, put my bacon on, and then just let that bake. While that is in the oven, I had some sewing that I was working on, so I'm just going to sew on my dress here until the bacon is done. And I know this dress totally looks the exact same color as the dress I have on, and it is basically the same color, but it's a different fabric, and yeah, we're gonna get that sewed up. I'm working on the sleeves right now, if you didn't figure that out by where I was pinning. So just giving everything a good iron, and then flipping it right side out, getting everything ironed down really well. And then I wanted to add a couple cute buttons here on the sleeve, on the little cuff. So I did that, and then I'm going to sew these sleeves onto the dress. And now we're going to just check on our bacon here. It's not quite done yet, but I'm going to kind of pull it apart here with a fork, get it spread out a little bit better, and then we'll go ahead and finish it. It won't take long. It's almost done. And now I am just sewing on the skirt. I'm just adding a light gathering stitch here at the skirt. And now our bacon is done, so we're going to get that out, and I'm going to put it over to the side on a plate so it can just cool off a little bit while we get our casserole started. Did I mention we're making a breakfast casserole? I don't know if I mentioned that before or not, but that is what we are making. I'm going to go ahead and fry up a dozen of eggs and just scramble them all together here. And then you can add in, salt if you want to, pepper, whatever you like to add onto your eggs. Once the eggs are done, you can just move those over to the side to let cool off a little bit as well. And then we'll get started with our casserole. So the bottom layer is these frozen hash browns. And then we'll add in our bacon, and I'm just cutting this up. You can also use like cubed ham or sausage that you've fried, whatever you prefer. We just like the bacon. And then we're going to add in some parsley flakes on top of that and our eggs. And at about this time I realized I did not have enough cheese to make the cheese sauce for the top, so I had to wait till the next morning, go get my cheese, and now we are working on the final step, the cheese sauce for the top. Now if you've seen a lot of my videos, you have seen me make cheese sauce before. It is super easy to make, just your butter. Now I'm adding in some flour. This will help to thicken it. Stir that up really well, and then we'll add in our milk. And you want to just keep this stirred until it is to boiling temperature, and you have to keep stirring it so that your milk doesn't burn. Once that is to boiling temperature, just take it off of the burner and then you can add in your cheese. So you can add either white or yellow cheese, Velveeta or American, whatever you prefer, whatever you have on hand, totally up to you. I am using the white Velveeta this time, but I've used the yellow as well. And then once the cheese has all been melted, you'll just add in some of the sour cream, mix that in really well, and then you can pour this on top of your casserole. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator, just let it set up a little bit, and then I will either bake it, or these are perfect to put in the freezer, which is what I am doing. I'm going to just put some foil on top, make it nice and tight, put it in the freezer, and then I can get it out for when I have some company or just a really good breakfast sometime down the road. So that is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!